linking Jamaicans in the diaspora with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora.
Story.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
I shiver, spirit fierce and bold, at thought of what I now behold, as vapors breathed from dungeons cold strike pleasure dead, so sadness comes from out the mold where Burns is laid. And have I then thy bones so near, and thou forbidden to appear? As if it were thyself that's here, I shrink with pain, and both my wishes and my fear alike are vain. Off, wait, nor press on, wait. Away, dark thoughts. They came, but not to stay. With chastened feelings would I pay the tribute due to him and aught that hides his clay from mortal view. Fresh as the flower whose modest worth he sang, his genius glinted forth, rose like a star that touching earth, for so it seems, doth glorify its humble birth with matchless beams. The piercing eye, the thoughtful brow, the struggling heart, where be they now? Full soon the aspirant of the plough, the prompt, the brave, slept with the obscurest in the low and silent grave. I mourned with thousands, but as one more deeply grieved, for he was gone whose light I hailed when first it shone, and showed my youth. How verse may build a princely throne on humble truth. Alas, where'er the current tends, regret pursues, and with it blends. Huge Criffle's hoary top ascends, by Skiddaw seen. Neighbors we were, and loving friends we might have been. True friends, though diversely inclined, but heart with heart and mind with mind, where the main fibers are entwined, through nature's skill, may even by contraries be joined more closely still. The tear will start and let it flow, thou poor inhabitant below. At this dread moment, even so, might we together have sate and talked one's blow, or on wild heather? What treasures would then been placed within my reach, of knowledge graced by fancy? What a rich repast! But why go on? Oh, spare to sweep, thou mournful blast, his grave grass grown. There too a son, his joy and pride, not 3 weeks past the stripling died, lies gathered to his father's side. Soul-moving sight, yet one to which is not denied some sad delight. For he's safe, a quiet bed hath early found among the dead, harbored where none can be misled, wronged or distressed, and surely here it may be said, but such are blessed. And oh, for thee, by pitying grace, checked oft times in a devious race, may he who halloweth the place where man is laid, receive thy spirit in the embrace for which it prayed. Sighing, I turned away, but ere night fell, I heard, or seemed to hear, music that sorrow comes not near, a ritual hymn, chanted in love that casts out fear by seraphim.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for days of old lang syne. We twa run about the braes and put the gowans fine, but we've wandered many weary feet since days of old lang syne, and we twa pedalled in the barn frae morning sun till dine, but seas between us braid hillward since days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And surely you'll be your pine stook and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne. And there's a hand my trusty fear, and gaze a hand o' thine, and we'll take a recht get well we walked for old lang syne. For old lang syne, dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne.
It's the 25th day of the first month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Healthcare Workers. Here in Jamaica, the month of January is still being observed as Soup Month and Earthquake Awareness Month. Usually around this time, we normally mark Customs Week and Mathematics Week. Things might be a little differently this year. Let's wait and see. Elsewhere in the world, G.F. Crow's birthday is being commemorated in Aruba. It's Foundation Day in Sao Paulo, Brazil, St. Tatiana Day, or the beginning of winter holiday in Russia, and Kermeline in Lithuania. It's Burns Night in Scotland, hence our selection this afternoon. The poem by William Wordsworth, entitled July 21st, at the Grave of Burns. And the song Auld Lang Syne, which was written by Robert Burns and is an anthem for so many people, for so many different reasons, all over the world. A man who almost made it to Jamaica. He fell on hard times, was offered a job in Jamaica, and had decided against it, perhaps because he found out that, well, he was against slavery, and he found out that, well, first of all, he was told it was a job as a bookkeeper. The bookkeeper part might have gotten his attention until he was told a bookkeeper on a slave plantation. The great Robert Burns was against slavery, and so he did not accept the job of a bookkeeper on a slave plantation here in Jamaica. In fact, while he was contemplating his trip to Jamaica, he wrote the poem, The Slave's Lament. He wrote that poem while pondering his trip to Jamaica to become a bookmaker or a bookkeeper for a slave trader. He chose not to take up that position. And so there are celebrations all over Scotland today, especially, well, they're about 5 hours ahead of us. So No doubt celebrations are on in earnest, celebrating Burns Night. More in a moment.
And surely you'll be a pine.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
How can you make your business thrive in the new normal? By using the most powerful IT solutions from Digicel Business Hub to optimize your business operations. High-speed Wi-Fi, mobile and office phones, IT security, Microsoft Office with Teams, and much more. Get Digicel Business Hub, world-class IT from just $399 a month for 5 users. Visit us today on www.digicelbusiness.com.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is
Never brought to mind. Should all acquaintance be forgot, and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne.
Hoy es lunes el 25 de enero 2021 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
What seas between us, Braid Hill since days of old lang syne.
C'est lundi le 25 janvier 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutent, où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is Monday. It is Monday, the 25th of January, 2021, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remind you and indeed to remind ourselves how much you mean to us here on this program, Both Sides of the Story, for 106 FM. And so we never, ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
For old lang syne, dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne.
Perhaps the stars are aligned for today's, as far as today's selection is concerned, and the connection with Robert Burns. And then just to think of some of the things that have happened here in Jamaica over the last 24 hours at least. A situation involving street people, serious homeless people, 6 homeless people killed across the corporate area overnight. When we speak of the corporate area, we're speaking of Kingston and St. Andrew, which were merged administratively back in 1923 to form the then Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, now known as the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. 6 homeless people killed across the corporate area overnight. That's the word from the Police Corporate Communication Unit, CCU. 3 of the victims were found chopped to death in downtown Kingston early this morning. It's reported that the bodies of 2 men were found on Hanover Street, while a third was found on the steps of the St. Andrew Parish Church, the St. Andrew Parish Court Civil Division on Sutton Street. 2 more were killed in West Kingston, while the body of the other homeless person was found in Tropical Plaza in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. Now, the tragedy of ending up on the streets itself is a tragedy, and there but the grace of God, as the expression says. It could very well be any of us at any stage. People at different times in their lives fall into difficulties and end up being homeless. Others abandoned by family members, and some of them perhaps of their own volition, by virtue of what they would have done or not done or failed to do or did. But for whatever reason, they're already out there dealing with the elements, and then now to become victims of an enraged individual or individuals. We don't have the details. We don't know at this stage who did what. And we convey our condolences to the family of the deceased. But do the family even know? Do they even care? Just a thought. Tragic. And it speaks to a deeper issue of violence. Another situation, we're told that there was another illegal party, an illegal party being held, and 6 men were shot and injured by unknown assailants on Racecourse Lane in Kingston 14 yesterday. The reports are that the Denham Town Police were well, about 8:45 in the evening, the 6 men were among patrons at an illegal party when they were pounced upon by 2 men traveling on a motorcycle who opened fire, hitting them. The police were alerted and all 6 were taken to hospital. 4 of the men were treated and released. The other 2 were admitted for treatment. The other patrons escaped unhurt. It's like a minefield. First of all, there should not have been that party. And speaking of party, the other topic doing the rounds is, how do we facilitate, accommodate, tolerate some form of entertainment without compromising on the established infection prevention and control measures? That's a tough one, because COVID-19 loves people. Yes, I said that. COVID-19 loves people because it is a fact. That's how COVID-19 spreads. So wherever, where the good book talks about where 2 or 3 are gathered, well, where any number of people are gathered, COVID-19 relishes that environment. And that is what leads to a rapid spread, which in itself puts pressure on the health system. And then once the health system becomes overwhelmed, it means people are going to die for want of care. So it is, and we feel for those 37,000 or more people who would have lost their jobs between October, what was it, December 2019 to October 2021 or something like that. Yeah. And a lot of them have had to find other means to survive. So we are faced with some decisions. I gather there was a press conference earlier, was it this morning or this afternoon? And but we're not seeing anything out of that yet. Well, any outside of the information to tell us, sadly, that 2 more people have died, for a total now of 338 COVID-19 deaths in Jamaica. The deceased being a 92-year-old female from Trelawney, whose death was previously under investigation, and a 48-year-old female from Westmoreland. 133 new cases with ages ranging from 5 months to 88 years, pushing the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Jamaica to 15,012, with 2,609 being active cases. This is not going to be an easy year, but we have an opportunity to do the best we can while we can with whatever we can. And then there's the mystery of this aircraft, which was not even supposed to be flying because it was apparently decommissioned, it seemed, based on information we've read so far. A 12-seater twin-engine plane, which was deregistered, and its ownership was domiciled in Mexico. And the plane crashed. Must have had a very good pilot at that, because it, it, I don't see any, well, from the face of it and the videos. Well, we'll come back to that. But that's another mystery. The people have disappeared, those who were on it. And some people report that it's two white men and they have blue eyes and they were in suit and carrying briefcases. Where are they?
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Let the show begin. Happy show.
Soak up the real Jamaican folklore in our brand new podcast, Kin Teeth and Hot Bun. Renowned storyteller Amina Blackwood Meeks brings life to the moments in true Jamaican style.
When you hear click, you cock your ears. And when you say crack, the story open.
Kin Teeth and Hot Bun, the Gleaner's brand new podcast series with storyteller Amina Blackwood Meeks. Available on SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and Deezer.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Tortello. And I'm Rachel McDonald. Join us for the podcast series Sounds of the Past as we share pieces of Jamaica's history, showcasing the people, places, and events that have helped to shape the country we know today. Head on over to jamaica-gleaner.com/podcast for more information, and don't forget to follow us at Jamaica Gleaner on social media.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in the Winchester Business Center, Suite 39 to be precise. That's the corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They do have an office upstairs, Shop 6, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. But in keeping with the COVID-19 protocols, they're encouraging clients and potential clients to call instead of turning up, and you will be advised accordingly. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. In a moment, your host on Land Solutions for today, attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Good afternoon, Dervan. Good afternoon, listeners. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Land Solutions. As Dervan just said, I'll be your host for today, Calicia Findlay. And Dervan, I hope everything is okay with you. It's been so long, but we keep pressing on in this new normal. I will go straight into some text messages, but as always, feel free to call in. The numbers again to call in: 876-922-4112 to 500, text and WhatsApp line 876-881-5254. Again, that's 881-5254. And I see the calls coming in, but please remember, listeners, to call to speak to me live on air. Call 876-922-4112 Someone wants to know whether the government can make an executor responsible for the dead person's property taxes. So an executor is the person who is in charge of someone's will. That's the person who is to ensure that the deceased person's wishes are carried out. And this person is asking whether the government can make an executor responsible for the deceased person's property taxes. The answer is yes. Remember that an executor steps into the shoes of a deceased person. So whatever rights or whatever obligations a landowner had on their death, that passes to their executor. So if someone, let us say, for an example, John Brown has made a will. He has named Mary as his executor. John has now died. If John owed someone money, the person who is owed the money can now sue Mary, his executor. If John is supposed to pay $5,000 every year for his property taxes, he's now deceased. The government can look to the executors to pay property taxes. So, two things worthy of note here. As an executor, I can't stress this enough, it comes with serious responsibilities. It's not a task to be taken lightly. If you're thinking about becoming an executor for someone, think about it carefully, seek legal advice. If you are making a will and you are considering choosing a particular person as your executor, again, seek legal advice, ensure you know what is required of that person. Discuss it with that person too to see if they would be willing to act as your executor. Also, with respect to property taxes, and I think I've discussed this before, the government, the authorities can claim property taxes from anybody in connection with the land. So yes, of course, as the landowner, you're obligated to pay your property taxes. And as I just said, your executor or your administrator. So when someone dies and leave a will, they name an executor. When you don't make a will and you pass away, the person in charge of your estate, we refer to them as the administrator. So executor, administrator, same functions, just different names. So executor can be responsible for property taxes as well as your administrator. Also, anybody in possession of the land, whether you are a squatter, a tenant, or you just pitch a tent there and maybe selling some fruit, using it as a vendor, anything, as long as you are on the land, government can come to you for property taxes. And I've seen this happen before, when property tax assessment notices are coming to the property. Property is not occupied by the owner, perhaps by the tenant or a squatter, and they say, well, it's not my name on the title, so I'm going to ignore the property tax assessment. They do that. Next thing you know, a summons comes to whoever is occupying the land. So be careful. So again, yes, an executor is responsible for paying the property taxes, and property taxes can be charged to anyone occupying the property. Again, our numbers to call in 876-922-4112 and our text and WhatsApp line 876-881-5254. Again, that's 876-881-5254. You may also send us a message on Facebook, that's facebook.com/landsolutions, or email gloria@landsolutionsja.com. My name was not on my matrimonial home. I got divorced recently, and I found out my ex-husband just sold the house. Am I entitled to anything? As many of us would know, once a house qualifies as your matrimonial home, each spouse is entitled to 50%. In this case, it seems her name wasn't on the title, just her husband's name. So as long as she can prove it was indeed her matrimonial home, yes, she ought to get 50% of the share of the house. Just some things to note though. the law that governs matrimonial property, it's referred to as the Property Rights of Spouses Act. There is a section in the Act that says any claim to be brought under the Act. So when I say a claim, I mean a claim for you to get a half interest in the property. Any claim to be brought under the Act must be brought no more than 1 year after your relationship has ended, or no more than 1 year after your divorce has been finalized. This person doesn't specify how long they have been divorced, but they say they have been divorced recently. If it's within a year, you should have no issue. You can go ahead and make a claim. I've had cases where persons have made the claim more than a year. First, what we have to do is make a special request to the court asking for permission to extend the time. In this case, however, the house has already been sold. So clearly she doesn't have a half of the house to get anymore. But what she can do, if she's within time, and like I said, if she's out of time and we can successfully file a claim to say, yes, it is the matrimonial home and she's entitled to actually file this claim, she can then sue her ex-husband for half of the proceeds. So yes, the house has been sold. Seems like it was a legitimate sale to someone. So what she would then have to do now is sue her husband in court for half of the proceeds of the sale. So the house was sold for $10 million off after all expenses were taken out. Let's just say for argument's sake, he ended up with $9 million. Then she should be entitled to $4.5 million. And what happens sometimes in cases like this, where you are entitled to a half share in this property, and the funds are no longer there, let's say the ex-husband used it for something else, then the court will grant you permission to perhaps go after other assets. So yes, you are entitled to a share, but please, for anybody considering any type of matrimonial action, so you're thinking of filing claim, you want your half share after a relationship has ended, do it as soon as possible. Because you don't want to be in a position where you're sitting and waiting, and perhaps a lot of people just don't know the requirements of the act. You don't want to be in a position where so much time has passed that go before the court and the court will say, no, you've waited too long, sorry, there's nothing we can do to help you. And let's also remember too, that there was a recent decision, maybe not so recent, maybe a year or two ago, where the court has now said that if you bring a claim for your share in matrimonial property after your spouse has died, then you will not be successful. I think there's still a lot of debate between a lot of debate in the legal fraternity about this, but this is what the law says now. You have to bring a claim while your spouse or your spouse is alive. The courts are now saying that the intention of the act was not for a spouse to benefit after the other spouse died, but during their lifetime. So please, if you're in a position like this, ensure you file an action as soon as possible. For those of you who may be in the process of seeking a divorce, what you should do is ensure that all your issues, whether they relate to your property, children, custody, or maintenance, ensure that they are rolled into one. So in such a case, you can actually put the divorce on hold or ask the court not to make a final determination with respect to your divorce and until all associated issues are resolved. And that happens quite frequently. Again, our numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5 or text line 876, and this is also the WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. Email gloria@landsolutionsja.com. If you want to call us in office to schedule an appointment for a consultation, the office numbers for the Kingston office are 876-908-1950 and 876-908-3518. And to call us in the Ocho Rios office, this is the law office of Brown, Finley and Company. The Ocho Rios office number is 974-6083. And as always, you can send us an email to gloria@landsolutionsja.com or a message on Facebook, facebook.com/landsolutions. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM. Listen to Drying Tears on Power 106 FM, Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Drying Tears. Get ready to dry your tears. Brought to you by the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God. That's Drying Tears, Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, 881-5254, and it's the same number for the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions. WhatsApp text 876-881-5254. The website landsolutionsja.com. The email address gloria@landsolutionsja.com. And if you wish to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, they're headquartered in Suite 39 at the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office upstairs, Shop 6, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call ahead instead of turning up, and you'll be advised accordingly. 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Someone wants to know how long it takes for administration of a property to go through if all the documents are in. It takes about a year from start to finish. So all the documents are prepared. They're filed at the Supreme Court. It takes about 8 months to a year, and simultaneous to that, so it's a two-part application. There's the application for the grant of administration, the Supreme Court. There's also an application to Tax Administration, Jamaica, for an assessment of the estate duties. Together, both of them take about a year. Another message, this time WhatsApp. Someone says they're administering their grandfather's property. There's some people squatting there. Can I summon these people to pay taxes while the administration is going on? This is an interesting text message. When you are the administrator of an estate, you have to wait until you actually have the grant of administration, that's a signed order from the court, before you can take legal action against anybody. If you were an executor, though, meaning if you had a probate, you can use the will by itself to start acting as the executor, meaning you can use the will to sue someone. And conversely, someone can sue you with just the will, even though you don't have the grant of probate yet. But with administration, That's not the case. I think that what the law says is, in terms of differentiating it, is that the will in this case kind of serves as a title or a passport for the executor to be able to act on certain matters. But with administration, you have to wait until you have the grant of administration. So in your case, you have to wait until you have the grant of administration before you can sue someone. But for property taxes, it's only the government who can summon someone to pay property taxes. It is an act that arises from the government. It is their responsibility. We are obligated to them to pay the property taxes. They are the ones who charge us property taxes. So they are the only ones who can sue us to pay property taxes. In your case, however, I see that you have squatters on the land. The last thing you want to do is to have squatters pay any kind of taxes, because they will say, we have been there for this time, we have been paying the taxes, we are now entitled to make an application for title. So in your case, while you are waiting on your administration, I would advise you to file an affidavit of urgency with the court. That's just a request for them to speed up your administration application so you can get the grant as soon as possible. And once you have the grant, I would go ahead and serve these squatters with a notice to leave your property. After you have served the notice, if the notice expires, then take them to court to get them off. Because with squatters, as we know, it's a slippery slope. As soon as they can show that they have been there for 12 years, they can go ahead and apply for the title. Even if you have served them with a notice, once the notice expires, that's nothing. They can still go ahead and apply for the title. Only a court order can get squatters off a property if they decide to continue being there. So please act quickly. Let me go over it again. No, you can't file an action or you can't summon them to pay the property taxes. You have to wait until you have your grant of administration. File an affidavit of urgency asking the court to grant your administration application quickly. You can cite that there are squatters there, you're in danger of losing the property. Once you get the administration, serve them with a notice, and if they don't leave, as soon as the notice expires, take them to court to get them off. And if after you get your court order, because we know how some squatters and tenants can be, after you get your court order and they still have not come off, go back to court and make a specific request for the bailiff to remove them from the property. Continuing with our text messages. I heard what you just said about an ex-husband selling property. Something like that happened to someone I know. Can this person sue the new owners to get back the house? I doubt it. We have something in law called bona fides or bona fides, acting in good faith. The English translation from Latin for bona fides is good faith. If the person or the persons who bought this house bought it in good faith, meaning they didn't know it was a matrimonial home, they didn't know that the ex-husband was possibly trying to cheat the ex-wife out of the house, if this is a bona fide purchaser, then there is no action you can take against the purchaser to cancel the sale or to get back the house, because they would have in good faith paid their money to this person who is selling the house, and they would have had their title conveyed or legitimately transferred. So in this case, your only recourse would be to, again, seek action or file suit against the ex-husband who sold this property and did not account to the ex-wife for the matrimonial, for the half share, because it was matrimonial property. So if an ex-husband or an ex-wife sells property and it's a matrimonial house, the other spouse is entitled to a half of it, and in that case they would have to file an action. Someone wants to know how long it takes for a cash sale to be completed in Jamaica. Cash sales can be completed in as little as maybe 3 weeks, 21 days, up to about 45, 60 days. generally speaking, if we are doing a cash sale, the terms are usually between 30 and 45 days. There is no specific time because when you have entered a sale agreement and it's whether it's cash or mortgage, but once parties are on that sale agreement, the sale agreement is sent to the stamp office to be assessed for the duties, meaning transfer tax and stamp duties. Sometimes I'll send a document, a sale agreement to the stamp office on a Monday. I'll get it back on a Friday with the assessment. Sometimes they may hold on to it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, depending on perhaps their workload. Sometimes they may actually want to go to the property to do an inspection to make sure that what it's being sold for is in accordance with what they are assessing it for. So there is no set time for a sale agreement to come back from the stamp office. And that is one route that we can't circumvent. The sale agreement has to go to the stamp office. So parties in their sale agreement can say yes, 30 days, 45 days, but sometimes it may take longer than that, depending on if the stamp office holds on to the documents. However, sometimes, like I said, you may send them down to the stamp office and we get them back right away. I know that this message says that they're asking how long it takes to be completed in Jamaica. And I'm going to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, that the person is outside of Jamaica. And just for our listeners, outside Jamaica, remember, once you're doing any official transaction with any of the revenue agencies in Jamaica, you must have a TRN. Even if you don't live in Jamaica, even if you left Jamaica 30 years ago, even if you have no intention of ever living in Jamaica, some people buy properties for investment. No matter what, you must obtain a taxpayer registration number. That's a TRN. You can make the application online. Go to jamaicataxonline.gov.jm, I think. Just search for it online. Or we as the attorneys can make that application on your behalf. But no matter what you're doing, as long as your documents will be passing through the stamp office or any of the tax offices, all parties must have a TRN. Someone is asking if it is better to be tenants in common over joint tenants. What may be better for me may not be better for you. You have to assess your particular situation and see which option works better for you. As joint tenants, if one person dies, let us assume there are two people on the title and you're joint tenants. As joint tenants, if one person dies, the survivor gets everything. So a joint tenant can't will their share. Because let's say we have John and Mary on title as joint tenants. John dies, everything then belongs to Mary. If, however, John and Mary are tenants in common on the title, Mary dies first. Once they are tenants in common, Mary's share does not automatically go to John. It will go according to what her will says. So, in terms of whether it is better to be tenants in common or joint tenants, it depends on what you want. If you own property with someone, or if you are contemplating owning property with someone, think about what you want to happen to your share of the property if you die before your co-owner. Thinking about buying property with John, and she knows that if she dies before John, she wants her share to go to her children, then in that case, Mary would be better off choosing tenants in common. If, however, both of them want their share to go to the other person, once they die, then they can choose joint tenancy. The beauty of it, however, is that once you select whether joint tenancy or tenants in common, afterwards you can change, and you can change as many times as possible. So think about it this way. What would you want to happen to your share if you die before the other person? Again, our numbers to call 876, it's 876-922-41125, or text and WhatsApp line 876-881-5685. 5254. You may also call us in office. The office numbers are 876-908-1950, 876-908-3518. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Tune in to Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Join Jason Downer, Dawit Jeffrey, and Sekou Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magaba's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, caring boys, Magaba Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The Facebook page is facebook.com/landsolutionsja. If you wish to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, they're headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. Plus, they have an office at the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne, more specifically, Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In light of the COVID-19 protocols, you're encouraged to call instead of turning up, and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call: the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law Calicia Findley, and we do have a call, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello.
Miss Findley.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Findley. Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Miss Findley.
Yes.
What I would suggest to you a while ago, what you suggest a while ago about tenant income and joint tenant,
Yes.
I would say a wife and husband shoot every joint tenant, but two friends like me and my brother, and my friend, that I would say that tenant income on.
Thank you, but I disagree with you. And that in the past, you see, a lot of people would do that. Just go ahead and make a husband and wife joint tenant.
Yeah, joint tenant, but two friends and two brothers or something.
But no, not necessarily not, because what if each of them, what if they already have children outside of the other, and once they pass,
well,
they
that is
want
not
to
my
give their
suggestion.
share
I
to
pass
their
nobody
children.
business, but if I may, I'm not my
And
wife,
like
I
I
put
said,
a joint tenant, but me and my brother buy
it's a
things.
personal
Me put
decision. So
that.
what is better for you may not be good for me. So
Yes, sir.
you
But
can't
anyway,
just
I'm not
have
hearing this. I'm not hearing this over the
all right, no problem. You can hang up. You can hang up. It's fine. But you can't have a blanket policy to say once you are. I actually know some practitioners who who advise their clients of that, and I disagree. What's good for me may not be good for someone else. Like I was just saying, a wife could have children outside of her husband, he could have children outside of her. Each of them may want their separate children to benefit from their share when they die. If that is the case, then joint tenancy would not work. You'd have to be tenants in common, so your beneficiaries will be able to actually benefit from the property. So don't just think that because you're husband and wife, you can be joint tenants. Don't just think that because you're friends, you should be tenants in common. It's different for everyone. The key takeaway, though, is once you are contemplating becoming co-owners with someone, seek legal advice. And I have a follow-up message. Someone says, what if I want to change from joint tenancy, but the other person does not want to? If there is no mortgage on the property, you can make this change easily. So two people are joint tenants. One person wants to change to tenants in common. The other person doesn't want to. The person who wants to make the change, they can add someone to their share, or they can transfer their share outright to someone else. If they want to change, we're going to assume that they want to remain on title. So John and Mary as joint tenants. Mary doesn't want to change, but John wants to change. What John is going to do, he's going to do a transfer to add Simon to his share. So that will automatically break up the joint tenancy between John and Mary, so that there are no that would automatically break up the joint tenancy between John and Mary, so that there are no tenants in common. So Mary will have her half share, and now John and Simon will have their share. They can decide how much they want, whether it's 50-50 between them or 60-40. So they will have that half share by themselves, and Mary will still have her half share. If there is a mortgage, though, it's not as easy because, once there's a mortgage, the mortgage company will have the title, and you can't make any changes to a title with a mortgage unless the mortgage company agrees. So if there is indeed a mortgage on a title and you want to change a tenancy, you have to file an application in court asking the court for permission to allow you to change the tenancy. Continuing with our text messages, is it easier to add my 3 sons to my title than to make a will? In terms of, it is a simpler process to just go ahead and add people to your title now. But of course, with any legal transaction, there are pros and cons. When you add someone to your title, they become co-owners along with you. So whatever you're going to do with the property, you're going to need their permission. You could always do a life interest, and you can act with the property as if it were your own. Remember also, too, that sometimes we run into the issue of, let's say you add a child to your title, the NHT may be a little reluctant to give them or to grant them benefits in the future when they're applying for another property. They may say, no, you already own property. But technically speaking, it is always easier to add someone to your title while you are alive. And it certainly is cheaper. Legal fees are way less as opposed to doing a probate. So when I say probate, that's if you were to will the property to your children, and then when you pass away, they would then have the expense of probating the estate. Some people don't care. Some people say, listen, I'll be dead and gone. Let them deal with the cost. But come in, call us to make an appointment. Our number is 876-908-1950, 876 further. Another message. I have 1 child, 4 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. Can I make my child the executor when making my will? Yes, certainly you can. And as we always say, it is better to have your beneficiaries be your executors. And as long as this child, I'm assuming this, yes, as long as this child is over 18, they can be your executor. It is, however, good to have at least 2 executors. I see here you reference one child. You can also make one of the grandchildren your executors, like I said, as long as they're over 18. But you don't just want to have one executor, because God forbid you name one executor and then that person is unwilling or unable to act, whether they just don't want to do it or God forbid they die. So yes, certainly your beneficiary can be your executor. Try and have, please, at least 2 executors. And your executors, like I said, can indeed be your beneficiaries. I think I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. Remember also, your beneficiaries cannot witness your will. So your beneficiaries can be your executors, but they cannot witness your will. And you can actually have up to a maximum of 4 executors. So yes, you can have one, but it's never advisable to have one. Have at least 2. So we always tell clients, have a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 4 executors. Continuing with our WhatsApp messages. Can you sell a house with just a will? I am my mother's only beneficiary, and there is no dispute about the will. I think I understand why this question. If this person was listening before, earlier I said, if you are going to sue someone with just a will, if you're an executor, you can sue someone, particularly if you're protecting the estate with just a will before probate is granted. But when it comes to selling property, you can't just use the will. You have to actually wait until probate is granted, and you have to ensure that the estate duties have been paid to the stamp office, and the executor has to at least be registered on the title, so the executor's name goes on the title. So the executor can sell once their name is on the title, or the executor can transfer to the beneficiary, put their name on the title, and then the beneficiary can sell. But you can, when it comes to selling property, you can't sell with just the will. You have to ensure that you have probate. Our numbers to call in, 876-922-411225. Again, or 881-5254. Email gloria@landsolutionsja.com. And you may also, if I buy a piece of land for $2.5 million, can I sell it again right away for more money? Or is there a special time that I have to wait before I sell it? Actually, no, there is no waiting period. You can go ahead and sell it right away, and you can sell it for anything. Once your sale has been finished, once your name is on the title as the owner, you can turn right around and sell it. And good luck to you. If you just bought property for 2.5 and you are now able to sell it right away for more money, then by all means, more power to you. Good luck. But yes, you can go right ahead. You don't have to wait.
We have another call for you, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, how may I help?
Yes, I would like to find out if the witness and a will, if they can also be the executor.
If who can be the executor?
The 2 witnesses and a will.
I'm not hearing you. Say that again, please. Who can be? Say that again.
The 2 witnesses. If you have 2 witnesses on your will, I would like to find out if they can also be the executor.
Yes, the witnesses can be the executors as long as they are not the beneficiaries. But what I tell people, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The next question is, if a will has 1 witness, is it valid?
No, it's not. It must have at least 2 witnesses. Must have at least 2 witnesses.
Okay, right? I'm not hearing you very clear, so I'm going to call in office tomorrow, okay?
Sure, no problem. Give me a call
thank
tomorrow.
you. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Take care. Thanks. So for a will to be valid, it must have 2 witnesses. If it's just 1 witness, it's not valid. So if you only have 1 witness on your will and you die, it's as if you don't have a will. Yes, an executor can be a beneficiary. An executor can also be a witness. But if you are a witness, you can't be a beneficiary. So if you are doing your will on your own, what I say to avoid any confusion, ensure that your witnesses are not named anywhere at all. in your will, because when you're doing your will on your own, you may not know the particular rules. So you don't want to think you're right to do your will on your own, and then God forbid it turns out that your will isn't valid. So beneficiaries cannot be witnesses. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Most persons will suffer from a mental disorder at some point in their lives. If you or someone you know has a mental disorder, contact the Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Healthline at 888 New Life. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Tune in to Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and One Spot Media has a special gift for you and your family. Enjoy a 30% discount on our 6-month subscription plan and receive the gift of Jamaica's most authentic television and radio channels. Yup, you heard us correctly. Enjoy a 30% discount when you purchase a 6-month subscription plan from One Spot Media. Simply log into onespotmedia.com, select the 6-month subscription plan, and click subscribe. Offer ends January 31, so don't hesitate. Subscribe now and let One Spot Media connect you with home.
It's Monday afternoon, and at this time, we share with you this very, very useful program, Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. If you wish to, and there's a Facebook page as well, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. If you wish to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, they're headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree. They also have an office upstairs, the JN Building. That's Shop 6, upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. But in light of the COVID-19 protocols, they encourage you to call ahead instead of turning up, and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Someone says they have been living at a family house. Two owners have died. Two owners on the title have died. They have been living there for over 40 years, and they want to know if they can go ahead and apply for adverse possession. I would need a little more information from you, but yes, you should be able to. Once you can show that you have been there for a minimum of 12 years undisturbed, meaning no one has tried to take you off, you can show that you haven't been paying rent, you have been living there and taking care of it as your own, then yes, you can certainly go ahead application for the title. And the very first step when you're doing this application, even before you come into us, is for you to get a survey of the property. Contact a surveyor and ask them for a survey diagram, a pre-check plan. And you have to specify this to the surveyor, because the first thing the surveyor may say to you is, listen, there's already a title. Why do you need a pre-check plan? Because a pre-check plan is the type of diagram we use when a title has never been issued for a property. But with an adverse possession application, we are essentially making an application for a brand new title, which is why we need a pre-check plan. So you have to specify that to the surveyor. So if you're coming to us wanting to make an adverse possession application and you don't have this diagram, you can't do anything. We're going to send you right back. So please ensure you get a survey first. Just to go back to what we were saying with respect to witnessing a will, someone wants to know why it isn't acceptable for a beneficiary to be a witness. Because it's a conflict of interest. You don't want there to be any questions surrounding the execution or witnessing of a will. And the law says if someone who is getting a gift under the will witnesses the will, there could be, or there is the presumption that the will may not have been witnessed properly, that the person making the will could have been unduly influenced. So what the law says, therefore, is that the person who is witnessing the will must not be getting anything from the will or the person's spouse. So a beneficiary can't witness a will, neither can a beneficiary's spouse witness a will. So you want to ensure that everything is above board. Someone also wants to know if a will has to be stamped like a sale agreement for it to be valid. Let me just differentiate, because I don't want to take anything for granted. I know a lot of people still believe, and I'm going to talk about two different types of stamping now.
Sorry, Calicia, don't mean to cut you. Wonder if you could
problem.
hold that while we take a call.
No problem, Dervan. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Afternoon, how may I help?
I have a friend who has a piece of land, yeah?
Yes.
And the piece of land was willed to their father, whose name was Watson at the time. But their name, the whole family name, is Brown.
Yes.
In other words, the grandmother whose name was Watson, willed the land to the father. And the father, his father did not put his name, give him his name at the time. So the grandmother gave him her name. It was Watson. Yes. When he died, he left the land for his children. All his children is Brown. Yes. Now, the Backside Company came in and did a land exchange, and they got another piece of land for it, which there's a house that was given from a house that is by the Backside Company, which had started, which was put up on that new piece of land. Now there's one of the family member now. They're all brothers and sisters. One of the family members has taken over the land and saying that it belongs to them, and they're going to sell a piece of it. We just want some legal advice as to, is that right? Can that be done?
Generally speaking, you see, it doesn't matter whether the family members had the same surname or different surnames, because it seems in your case a lot of time would have passed. So in your case, what would matter now is who can show that they have been on the land for at least 12 years. So whether it is the person who it was quote unquote willed to, or whether it is a stranger, or whether it's some random family member, it's the person or persons who can show that they have been there for at least 12 years. They would be the ones entitled to apply for the title. Understand what I'm saying?
These family members
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
proof of being on the land. In other words, no one was really, no one was really on the land until it was exchanged and given by the backside company.
All right.
Then,
If that is the case,
because
then
put
they would
out
need to
on the
apply for registration of the estate. I'm going to ask you to give me a call in office tomorrow, and I'm going to need some more information from you about the history, the specific history of the land.
Okay.
All right, just keep listening and I'll say the office numbers.
All right.
right.
The number again.
You can hang up. I'll say it now.
All right then.
All right. Thanks for calling. The numbers to call us in office 876-908-1950 and 876-908-3518. Again, 876-908-1950, 876-908-3518. Back to that text message. Someone wants to know if a will has to be stamped like a sale agreement for it to be valid. There are two types of stamping, I should say. I don't want to take anything for granted. I'm going to talk about the physical stamp that we attorneys use to stamp documents as opposed to sending a document to the stamp office downtown, tax administration, Jamaica, for the duties to be paid. A will doesn't have to have any stamp on it. If I, as the attorney, I'm preparing your will and I'm witnessing it, I don't have to stamp it. In fact, I do not stamp it. The courts do not like when there's any additional markings on wills. And the same goes for justices of the peace. Please don't stamp or seal anybody's will. All we need is your name, signature, address, occupation, full stop. Don't stamp it, don't seal it. Because when there's any additional marking, it creates a little bit of headache for us and the court requests further documentation to explain why there's all these markings and stampings on the will. So physical stamps, no. For a will, it doesn't have to be stamped by the attorney or the JP. In fact, a witness to a will can be anybody over 18. Doesn't have to have any fancy title, doesn't have to be a JP, a lawyer, doctor, Indian, nothing. Can be anybody over 18. A sale agreement also does not have to be stamped. If I'm witnessing a sale agreement, sometimes I'll put my stamp on it, sometimes not. Doesn't make it any less valid. Can also be witnessed by a JP. A sale agreement, though, once it is signed by all the parties, it must be sent to the tax administration, Jamaica, specifically the stamp office, for them to assess the transfer tax and stamp duty. That's when once those are paid, it has the official stamp and seal of the TAJ. As for a sale agreement to be valid, it must have the official stamp of the tax office. A will, however, just to be submitted to the stamp office for stamping. So for a will, the person making the will signs it in the presence of two witnesses. They both sign. So all three people sign, the testator and the two witnesses. Full stop. That's it. A will is valid. Doesn't need any additional stamping. When you are making an application for probate, the probate documents themselves have to be sent to Tax Administration Jamaica to be stamped. But just so you know, a will doesn't have to be stamped for it to be valid at all. Just signed by the person making the will and signed in the presence of two witnesses. Let me see if I can get in a last message. Someone wants to know why it's so expensive to buy a property in Jamaica. What can I tell you? Yes, the prices are high, especially what we find for those persons, the majority of NHG contributors start to say they can't afford property. The demand is there. It's now a seller's market. But explore your options for legal fees. Legal fees can be paid in installments. Seek pre-approvals from your mortgage institutions. If you can't afford legal fees, remember that there are always legal clinics. There's several legal aid clinics around the island. In particular, there's the Bethel Baptist Legal Aid Clinic. They're at 6 Hope Road in Halfway Tree. They operate every Saturday from 10 to 12. There are several attorneys. I work there some Saturdays. Gloria works there. The consultation fee is $500. You can go there and get your wills done. Anything that you could do at any private attorney. So please avail yourself of that option. Thanks again. Thanks as always for tuning in. Thank you to Dervan and the team. Once again, I've been your host for today, Calicia Findlay. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
Talk 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday here on Power 106 FM.
It's a somber Monday afternoon here in the corporate area, Jamaica. We thank you so much for continuing to keep faith with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. We're anxious to hear your thoughts and suggestions, questions, concerns, recommendations, musings to our audience at home and abroad. We welcome those of you who have been watching us on Facebook Live, on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, in the search box atop the page on Facebook, just log on to Facebook, and in the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. We're also streaming live video on YouTube. Hello to our YouTubers. Thank you very much. The numbers are still going up, not where we want them to get to, but we appreciate all those who have been subscribing and liking and sharing and joining us on Facebook, on the Dervan Malcolm on YouTube, on the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. You don't need to have a YouTube account to access the program. Once you have access to the internet, you can Google YouTube or just type YouTube in the browser, and the YouTube page will come up, and you should see this video trending, especially at this time. If you're not seeing it, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you should be able to find us. How about that? Good afternoon. Let's see what the YouTubers are saying in their messages. Donovan Crook says, blessings, Sir Malcolm. I'm always listening incognito. Well, I'm sorry to blow your cover. You're no longer incognito, Donovan. Hey, good afternoon to you. Hope we're not getting you into trouble by calling your name. He says, greetings at Rose. Whoever Rose is, greetings to you too, Rose. Oh, that's Rose McIntosh. I see. Rose McIntosh, who is in London. Welcome, Rose McIntosh from London. Yvette Johnson, good afternoon to you too, and Happy New Week to you. Notwithstanding some of the scenarios that have unfolded over the weekend, we still have reason to hope. Hope springs eternal in the human breast. Man never is, but ought to be blessed. What a thing. Let's go to the Facebook messages right now. Audrey Smith in Southampton in the UK is on board. Junior Bailey. Kirkisha Salmon, hello to you too. Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Gina Palmer, well, technically speaking, it's what we're seeing is Gina Palmer's. So Gina Palmer's link, message. Yeah, Gina Palmer. Gina Palmer's. I'm going to read it as I'm seeing it. Palmer''S. Gina, Gina. Gina Palmer's. Good afternoon to you too. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, everyone. Only God knows what is happening to these people. What I'm hearing pains my heart. But one thing I know, God knows the end from the beginning. Thank you, Faye Weller. And she goes on to say, blessed afternoon, everyone. Only God knows what's happening to these people. Sylviana Johnson says, good afternoon to you too, Sylviana Johnson. Sandra Gibson in Florida, good afternoon to you. Thanks for tuning in. We're giving thanks for life. How's it with you? Vanessa Edwards is asking, which day is child related day? Do you mean, I'm not sure. Do you mean Kids Connect, when we do that feature on a Tuesday afternoon at 3:30? Is that what you're referring to? Or you're trying to identify the next day, the next local, regional, or international observance with respect to children? Give us some more information. Let's see if we can find the answers for you. Vanessa. Beverline in Toronto, Canada says, condolences to my visiting Jamaican who lost her life on her vacation. What a tragedy. We're so sorry to hear that, Beverline. So sorry to hear. We did hear on the news a story about a Canadian visitor. I wonder if that was the tragic story. A Canadian visitor dying. So sorry to hear that, Beverline. Last thing anyone would want is death on vacation. Condolences. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listener. Happy Monday to you too, Cherry Henry. Cleveland Green, good to have you join us. Winsome Booth is also online. Thank you very much, Winsome Booth, and all the very best. Looks like Joshua Blake, I beg your pardon, has gone to work. As far as, well, we're seeing multiple messages, not sure. Let's see, what is he saying here? Joshua, he says, hi. Hi. And there's an emoji. I'm not sure what the significance of that is. So we will try not to touch anything or to tap on anything, just in case. Just in case. That's all we will say. So, yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you for connecting. We've been neglecting those who have been messaging us on our WhatsApp line, same as the text line. Sorry, didn't mean to neglect you. Let's clear those messages. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Monday to you and your listeners. The coronavirus positive cases have now hit the 15,000 mark in Jamaica. I heard an advertisement on the radio advising that if one can catch the virus, they can spend up to 6 weeks. If one catch the virus, they can spend up to 6 weeks in the hospital. I do not, well, that wouldn't be an advertisement. It would be more like, it would be properly called an infomercial. That's what it was, an infomercial. So using commercial means to inform in the for the public good, an infomercial. So you're saying, right, we know the infomercial, we've heard it. I do not. Oh, you're saying you don't think it goes far enough. They should tell people in the infomercial that coronavirus will kill them. Well, if they needed more telling than what we've been putting out there at home and abroad, all over social media, everywhere, and you don't have to go that far. Just check with a neighbor or a friend or a colleague, and chances are someone in that cohort would have lost a loved one to COVID-19. Serious matter. Thank you, Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary. Here's another WhatsApp message. Good day, Mr. Malcolm. I am a past employee, and I'll just say of a security company. He has given the person has given us the name of the company, but we'll leave that out for the time being. I'm a past employee of a security company. From last year, I have been calling them about my NHT refund for 2012, and all they have been giving me is the runaround and Nancy stories. Checking with the NHT from last year, it shows that the company did not pay over any money for the employers. When I checked back with the NHT this morning, there was still no money paid over. Calling back the company, they're still giving me the runaround. I'm really distraught right now because they're not giving me any good argument in the payroll department. Please see how best you can help me, sir. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And the person has given us her name. Well, the power is in your hands right now. We humbly suggest you make the time to call or visit in a safe way the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and report the company. The ministry will then take it up with the company. That's what we would humbly suggest. If you can safely navigate your way to and from the offices of the Ministry of Labor in your area, that would be a good place to start, the best place to start. You have the information, you have the name of the company, you have worked there. Give them the information and they will investigate and take the necessary action against the particular security firm which has been giving you the runaround. Now, there is also the association, what is it called? The Association for Security, Private Security. Gosh. Commander Overton, is he still the man in charge? I'm trying to remember the name of the organization. Private Security. Oh, goodness. Is it a federation or a society? I'm trying to remember. Let's see what we can find right now. The Private Security Regulation Authority. So that's another option. An additional entity you might want to contact. But the Ministry of Labor and Social Security is the perfect place to go. But it wouldn't hurt to put through a call to the relevant division or unit or section of the Private Security Regulation Authority. And there's also, let's check this. Just trying to make sure we're giving you the correct designation. Right. So the organization headed by Lieutenant Commander George Overton is the Jamaica Society for Industrial Security. Jamaica Society for Industrial Security. So those are the options. Number one, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Whether you're able to safely navigate your way to the ministry and back and lodge the complaint against the particular security company. That's number one. Number two, the Jamaica Society for Industrial Security. The Jamaica Society for Industrial Security. And more in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more. Right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First-Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First-Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First-Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First-Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
Join Jason Downer, Dawitt Jeffrey, and Sekou Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magaba's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, preparing boys. Magaba Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
But we've wandered many we've had since days of old lang syne, and we twa pedaled in the barn frae morning sun till dine, but seas between us great hillwood since days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for days.
We know you're accustomed to hearing this recording on the eve of a new year. Yeah, New Year's Eve. But it is appropriate that we should play this recording today. Today is the birthday, the anniversary of the birth of the great Robert Burns, the Scottish poet who is responsible for this piece, Auld Lang Syne, which is an international anthem. It's not just on New Year's Eve that it's used. There are universities that use it. There are multiple organizations, different countries use it in different ways. And, there's always a Jamaican connection, right? And the Jamaican connection is that the great Robert Burns had fallen into hard times, financial difficulties. As we said, he was a Scottish poet and lyricist, widely regarded as the national poet of Scotland, and is celebrated worldwide. On the 27th of November, 1786, Robert Burns decided not to emigrate to Jamaica as he had planned and headed instead for Edinburgh. Burns was in financial difficulties, and to make enough money to support a family, he took up a friend's offer of work here in Jamaica at a salary of £30 per year. The position that Burns accepted was as a bookkeeper on a slave plantation. Robert Burns was against slavery, and so he did not accept the job. In fact, in 1792, Robert Burns wrote a poem entitled The Slave's Lament. He apparently wrote the poem while pondering his trip to Jamaica to become a bookkeeper for a slave trader. So Robert Burns wrote The Slave's Lament. But one of his most famous works is the poem for Auld Lang Syne, and the artist performing this piece is Dougie MacLean, Dougie MacLean, Mclean. And so this is his poem, Auld Lang Syne, has been put to music. And it means so much to so many people all around the world. It has long been put to music, as we said. It's Burns is still beloved and celebrated to this day. Robert Burns fans around the world celebrate his birthday today, the 25th of January, with rowdy and ribald dinners of haggis and other Scottish delicacies. Not sure how COVID-19 is impacting Robert Burns, or has been impacting Robert Burns' Burns Night celebrations. No doubt scaled down or non-existent based on what's been happening in the UK. Robert Burns, Scottish poet and lyricist, born on this day in 1759. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Ricardo is in Glengough, St. Catherine. Here's another message. Mr. Malcolm, the people who call themselves leaders in Jamaica are so dim-witted that they're incapable of figuring anything out. I will bet anything that if the people from this mystery plane do not just appear and confess to being the people involved, nothing will come of this case. And even if they confess, all they have to do is come up with some cock and bull story, and some people, some simple-minded judge will just say, sorry to bother you, and send them home. And what about the people who are able to give such details as the color of the eyes of these guys? I'm sure if it were some Jamaican police that was involved, these people would be falling over one another to come forward to put the police in jail. Such is the story of Jamaica, writes this listener. Thank you very much for your message. It remains to be seen whether those words will come to pass. This one says, good day, sir. The court admin invites persons to call, but the number doesn't work. They need to give another number or answer the phone. Keep up the good work, sir. Thank you. Court admin, what's happening with your phone lines? This listener is suggesting that your number or numbers don't work. Yeah, you might want to check that out. Anyone from the court administration listening to us now, please check. I don't know if it's a number or a series of numbers. The person who is messaging us here says the number doesn't work. Court admin, over to you. Let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
How are you, Mr. Malcolm?
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
I slowly was going to get Mrs. Finlay, but I didn't get her, but I want to talk to you about other things. What I want to talk about, I got no house from Housing Trust, say, them say, and it finished paper everything, and you hear what them say? Me can't, them always are sign up the paper to get, to go, the other thing go to the mortgage, Mr. And them say, no, them not see my name up there, the house paper, and they called me the other day to come to the title. You can't hear anything like that yet?
That sounds bizarre.
It's a very bizarre case.
So how are you going about resolving it?
I am not going up there because I got me tired to go up there. You know what? The place that I worked, it was closed down. So I don't know what I'll get to go to other place to let them give me something else.
Well, there's only if it's the National Housing Trust, then you have to deal with the National Housing Trust about it.
There come a time when a man is tired, and them can't be tired, but if $50,000 or $60,000 them up, they say they would have returned back. They would have returned to me. Secondly, you were right about that story as it relates to Marie Antoinette. Because you know why they were after her in that way, Mr. Malcolm?
Why?
You know? She been born in France, you know that?
Yes.
And that's one of the main reasons. If that idiot that wrote that story wrote that, she said, if you can't eat bread, go and eat baguette or croissant come from there too.
Mm-hmm.
Croissant is French or American?
Croissant, oui, c'est
Croissant,
French. Yeah, it's French, yes.
It's better in the right, I say. She said to go eat that.
Mm.
I'm happy I've got through 2 years, Mr. Malcolm, because you know why? I think balance, I have always thought that balance, and you're a good friend, you're from Portmore, I've always had the pride of place to get through to this program, should I say.
No, what he normally does is call the text line straight. So he just calls the text line and gets through unless somebody else is on it.
Oh, I see.
That's
what
it.
What I want to speak to you about too, I've heard you always use a word, but if I said my son say, go back a water commission, him go and come back, and me say, you must go back to the person to whom you spoke with. It is to who you spoke with or to whom.
Yeah, well, this one it comes up from time to time. People sometimes are not sure of the proper usage of whom versus who. It's an example. Let me see. It can be used as what they call an interrogative pronoun.
Pronoun, yeah.
Whom did he marry? That's an example.
Exactly. But you know why, Mr. Malcolm? I've always heard you. It's only one time I was tell you that you said whom. You said whom.
And her mom, in whom she confided, said it wasn't easy for her. So those are a couple of examples of the usage.
And again, you know, why come on the news about the plane? The man them have two blue eye. One have one blue eye and one, so the two of them blind, you know. You understand me?
I hear you.
That rubbish can come over the news.
Oh, well, that's the information.
No,
my late mother would say mouth ton crossway. Say anything.
A lady spoke to one of the police or reporter, and I say them have just one blue eye. The both of them have.
No, I heard blue eyes and wearing suits and carrying briefcases. So that could either be a decoy to throw off the police, or it could very well be the truth.
Yeah, but if a lady tell her, you know, when frequently you go somewhere, somebody say that you have a little way to go. You try and you have to have 10 or 20 more miles to go.
So it is.
And second, but before I go, I am glad Ben Eminent that call. What you call me coming from somewhere from the west? Mr. Perkins called him Ben Eminently. You remember him?
Yes.
I am glad he's not in the whole heap personal pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, tree adjective, tree noun, tree this, tree that. He's kind of toning down, you know.
Yes.
The way he speaks.
I hear you.
I know you wouldn't get a comment on that. God go with you, sir.
God go with you too.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
All right, sir.
I keep listening. I'm going to say some more about who and whom, according to the publishers of the Oxford Dictionary.
Thank you, sir.
So here's a piece that was written on that. It says, and this is from the Oxford Dictionary, a continuing debate in English usage is the question of when to use who, WHO, and when to use whom, WHOM. According to formal grammar, who forms the subjective case and so should be used in the subject position. Let's take the break and come back.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4 heures. 现在几点了？4点。4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We were sharing with you a piece from the Oxford Dictionary on the use of who and whom. Let's go back from the top. A continuing debate in English usage is the question of when to use who and when to use whom. According to formal grammar, who forms the subjective case and so should be used in subject position in a sentence, as in, who decided this? That's the example. So that's using who in the subject position. Who decided this? Now to the other one. The form whom, W-H-O-M, the form whom, on the other hand, forms the objective case and so should be used in object position in a sentence. For example, in whom do you think we should support? I beg your pardon. Not in. Whom. Let's go again. The form whom, on the other hand, forms the objective case and so should be used in object position in a sentence. For example, whom do you think we should support? Whom do you think we should support? Another example would be, to whom do you wish to speak? To whom do you wish to speak? Although there are some speakers who still use who and whom according to the rules of formal grammar, as stated here, there are many more who rarely use whom at all. Its use has retreated steadily and is now largely restricted to formal contexts. The normal practice in modern English is to use who instead of whom, and where applicable, to put the preposition at the end of the sentence. Who do you wish to speak to? Or who do you think we should support? Such uses are today broadly accepted in standard English. So you would not have committed a crime against the English language if you misplace if you're going based on the formal situation. If you misplace who as opposed to whom, the publishers of the Oxford Dictionary are saying the general use of who, even in the place of whom, is so common now that it has become broadly accepted in standard English. That's really what they're saying. And that's straight from the publishers of the Oxford Dictionary. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dervan. It's so educative to listen to your program.
Thank you.
But this evening I'm not in a receptive to teaching because I'm in a picket.
Oh dear, what happened?
I'm a retired teacher, supposed to receive a pension, And in December, I didn't receive a cent. You can imagine Christmas without any money. I live by my pension.
Oh, no.
I was one of the 2,500 people that didn't got. In January, no, the end of December, I got a life certificate. I took it in and got a receipt here for it. Lo and behold, when I went to the bank today, they have not sent the December pension. Only they one, maybe they sent one. I don't know which one. But the thing about it is, I can't tell you how I don't have any money. Because in Christmas I had to borrow to pay my bills.
No,
and to do
I
whatever.
guarantee you are not alone.
But no,
So many of us.
that is
No. I'm just saying you don't need to feel embarrassed by it. I understand. But everybody is feeling it in that regard. However, clearly in your case, based on what you're saying, there seems
75-year-old with 40 days of service.
yeah, there seems to be some mismanagement of your affairs.
You didn't hear that about 2,500 people didn't get any pension. You didn't hear that?
No, well, that we are told that the Administrator General's Department, if that's the case you're talking, or the Accountant General's Department, indicated that the problem was with the pensioners with respect to the life certificate.
Lie. People gave in their receipt. People get no 2,500.
No, but hold on there now. I can understand how you feel, as you said, but the Accountant General would come out and tell a big lie. For what reason? Who would benefit from that? Who would benefit? No, but wouldn't the evidence would bear them out, wouldn't it?
But which evidence? Who's showing any? People gave in their certificate. It's a glitch in the system. Even all the opposition leaders said nothing like, not the leader, the man, the Julian, said nothing like that. Anyhow, it passed.
No, he said that before the Accountant General's. He said it before the Accountant General's Department hit back.
No, but he said it on a proof of people who carry it in. It's not no pensioners, totally no fault. I am. All right, they didn't send it. I went January and gave the certificate that was due for January and January to March. I thought the people would send a December pension. Oh no. They send one pension and I'm to get two. They owe me one. I was on the line with one, Miss Franklin. I don't know what she had me there holding on. And nothing till she called somebody who was the management. I'm going straight to the Minister of Accounts, whatever his name is, because I cannot live without that money this month. The money that I borrowed for the December pension that I didn't get. I'm paying it out. How am I going to pay my bills?
Well, I'm terribly sorry to hear of your situation, but I quite understand it. And at a time when funds are scarce, now more than ever, you can't afford to miss out on what is owing to you.
I'd like to know why.
Well, it seems the question would be properly presented to or put to whoever is holding up the process or is not doing what is supposed to be done.
Excuse me, you don't have a system like someplace where they contact them and hear from them, or you just inform us about language and this and that, which is lovely, and culture.
Yeah,
you don't have anybody that you contact. Why is it people say?
Well, you're a teacher, and then there are those who are engineers, doctors, lawyers, cosmetologists. People operate differently and different
but if we call, we don't just call to talk. We expect some people, some places, there are people they call on the behalf of the people to say what is happening to these people's pension and get on the people to talk. That is a new thing in call.
No, that's not new. And we do that from time to time.
I mean, I don't know. I plan to go to the Minister of what am I name now? A Minister of Finance.
Yeah, you called nationwide as well.
Yes,
I remember. I heard you. I
call everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Cliff spoke, and so my credit ran out. I'm calling everywhere because I'm definitely down to nothing. I have to pay back the people their money. and I can't go to any of these microfinancing place.
Well,
For
here's
them to beat me and broke up my
yeah, and I don't want to further conflate or otherwise add to your misery. But what part of what you hear coming out is part of a belief that it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that people have to call a talk show to get the assistance that established entities get paid to provide.
That is how Jamaica runs.
Right?
Everywhere.
It cannot be that the only way somebody's issue gets attention is when it comes on the radio.
That is how it is, and that's why we're using the media.
And the part of the problem with that is that we continue to accept it that is the way it is.
What are we going to do, sir? You phone their number, they do not answer. I phoned NIS, and I was so thrilled by the preface of this is the Ministry of Social. We value your this and that. You, and that. I said, boy, what a lovely introduction. I held on for 10,000 minutes waiting on somebody to talk to me. So it's just a show and a farce. Yeah. So you have to use whatever method. You can't wait for it to fix up for this. This doesn't look like you're going to fix up ever. Public service. Everywhere, none. None of them have phone there and get anything. NIS, NHC, NH, whatever, none answer you. But they listen to the phone.
So who would you like to hear from on this matter?
I want to hear from the lady, Miss Franklin. She went for one man. She says the manager, I didn't get his name. I'd love to hear him say something on it,
All right, and
because I don't have no money.
Which department did you call?
I called the accountant. At least I didn't call it. I sent a text to a station and they sent the message. The person called me and was there. Hold on till me. I'm tired. Accountant general, sir. Payment of pension. Non-payment of pension.
Mm-hmm.
Accountant general.
And so you're hoping that we will have better luck than the other radio station.
He has luck, and they don't have answer. You hear hundreds and thousands of people say he's the one who gets the person.
Oh,
and they get the
Cliff Hughes?
Yeah.
Right. So what is happening to your matter? Why hasn't he been able to sort out your matter?
I was using a cell phone and the matter, it ended.
Well, you could have called him back at some point.
It's not easy to get. I stood there the whole afternoon to call in it. They didn't get him back. That was my bad luck. I've never had I couldn't get on my land phone, and I used the cell, and not noticing that is not much credit on it. And by the time it was near to 12, by the time I run and get something, it was over. So I'm here stuck. I have the people their money for pay back, and I know when we go and get it from. But if it even means going to Nigel Clark, I have to get it January. I'm not waiting no longer than January.
All right, hold the line. Let's take your contact details off air, please.
Yes.
One moment, please. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Raskava has been holding on the text line, which doubles as the WhatsApp number, holding for 10 minutes, 21 seconds. Raskava, welcome. Hello.
Greetings, sir.
Greetings.
You know, when you're holding, I'm not hearing the other person who you're talking to, you know.
That's what happens when you call the cell phone, which doubles as the text line and the WhatsApp number. The call-in lines, if you call the call-in lines, then you would be able to hear the radio at the same time. The text line wasn't meant necessarily, we don't have the setup on this side of the window. We just thought of an additional way in which people can reach us, right? But I heard you the other day playing your radio loud.
Right, because me want to hear what the
Yeah,
person
but you
says
are
to me.
doing that even though at some point I recognized what was happening, so I moved the phone a little closer to one of the headsets here in the studio. But I don't think you recognize that, and so we were getting a bit of a feedback. One moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
But we still and the big bike there right now,
You
man.
see?
You wicked. You know the road code and the safety gear must wear down.
Me just ride my girl. Me run road no run me. Anyway, go on an election.
First of all, you have to know the road code and your bike for license. And you must wear helmet, proper shoes, knee, elbow, and shoulder pads.
I know that.
So why you not do it? You look like you have a dead weight.
No say not more, my girl. We'll fix that today.
Remember, road safety begins with you.
A message from the Road Safety Unit, Ministry of Transport and the Mine.
Where are you? Are you trapped in your mind counting numbers? Are you a small business trying to leave your footprint in the world? I can help to take your business anywhere. Are you jogging or are you racing to close the deal of the century? There's a good chance we can do great things together. Are you home, pacing the kitchen, confused about what to eat and how you'll pay your staff? I'm way ahead of you. I'll give you the money when you need it. I'm the voice in your ear. My voice? I'm a bank that will meet you where you are. A bank that cares. Exim Bank cares. Exim cares about your business. Exim cares about you.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM. COVID-19 has effectively changed our way of life, and to combat the pandemic, it's crucial that we focus on cutting-edge strategies to maintain proper sanitization, hygiene, and public health. Learn more about these cutting-edge strategies and get vital information that can help the individual and various sectors of society operate and thrive in the new normal by listening to the feature Maintenance Matters, airing every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. during Power Talk with Ronnie Thwaites. Maintenance Matters is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, with head offices at 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. Telephone 876-920-4721-5. Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited. Get more than clean, get hygiene. That's Maintenance Matters during Power Talk, every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Oh, kindness yet for all of mankind.
Thanks a lot. Que hora es en español? Son las 4:19. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:19. 现在地点了4点19分. 19 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, Training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Raskava, thanks for holding. Please continue.
The police, to help fight crime, the police should be a person in whom the people should be able to place their trust.
Yes.
So in whom can use in that context?
Yes.
It is reported that they killed some street people in Kingston, chopped them up and do all kind of something with them.
We don't know who.
No, but I am speculating it could be only another mad certain do that.
Well, we don't know. So we're...
No.
Mm-mm.
But you have to look at all the pros and cons.
Yeah, anything is possible.
The street person, them would not be of much threat to the other persons who normally would go around killing people. But that must be a person upon sound mind who we're going to do that.
And what would you say of all the others who have been killing people in Jamaica, including those who shot up the illegal party in Racecourse, Denham Town?
Them are wicked people, man. Wicked people. With no heart as such, if there can be such a term. But how low can people get? How low can we get? People out there eating out of garbage and trying to survive. They don't have no house, they don't live nowhere, and they don't have a job. What threat could they be to anybody?
Yeah, it speaks.
If you're doing something, they may not be able to identify you. Their testimony cannot now go turn up in a court because they must say they're up on sound mind. And yet people, this place, I don't know.
It's an indication of the level of depravity and desperation, and just madness. It's I don't know what it is about so many of our people that would cause them to behave the way that they do and to do the things that they do, but a lot of it is heartless and brainless in a sense too.
It's not a situation that you can be said that one of those persons attack you with a weapon that you would be defending yourself and him get killed in the process. It's more than two persons in one night, so it couldn't be the same reason.
Yeah, it is. We could, and I don't want to say half of what I think in terms of possibilities, but I'll just reserve those. But there are all kinds of possibilities in terms of whose interest would that serve? Why would anybody do that? How, on what basis? Could it be the same person or people acting in concert? This one go there and that one go. It really, it boggles the mind.
Well, it was alleged that why Mandeville was dubbed the cleanest place, the mad people was transported from Mandeville to Maypen overnight, and having Mandeville remain the cleanest town in the island.
That would be a generalization. There would have been included in that number homeless people. Homeless people are not necessarily mad people or people who are mentally challenged.
That's the nickname they get, so they just work with it. Because people who lost their job, their mortgage can't be paid, they don't have no house, they don't know where they end up sleeping anywhere they can lay their head.
Yeah, which doesn't make them mad necessarily or mentally challenged. But
no, not at all. But some people will not want to see them crouching under their business place, Pisa, or around their business place, and will do anything at all to get them moved from there to someplace else.
Well, except that we have seen so many business places taken over, not only by homeless people or mentally challenged people, but also vendors all over this country. And for the most part, our business people have surrendered whatever shop front or side or back or space that they occupy.
Yeah, because of fear. But the government now need to really take a deeper look and do something to really find some place to put those homeless people. Whether you can find their relatives or you have to get some place to put them, to get them off of the street. Because there's sometimes some of them endanger people's life by them, see them afraid of them, and we are run from them and go run in a vehicle, even when they're not trouble them. Or see where it will end up to,
Well, for what sorry, go ahead.
We cannot keep doing the same old and expect to get new results.
Yes, for what it's worth, there is an organization in Mandeville, Manchester, that operates what is more like a drop-in center where you could go have a bath,
in Hanbury,
shower.
Hanbury.
I'm trying to remember where it's located. It's called Candle in the Dark. I know it's in Mandeville. Candle in the Dark. It's a care center. So if you want some breakfast, if you want some lunch, if you want some dinner, they assist homeless. They cater to the needs of the homeless in Mandeville, Manchester.
Probably it's a different one because Hanbury Home.
No, Hanbury isn't. No, Hanbury. I'm trying to remember because we did a broadcast there some time ago. It's a children's. Isn't that a children's home? I'm sure that's the place we broadcast from, with Jaja Foundation doing some outreach work there.
They have shut-ins too. I think they might have extended it to have shut-ins.
I'm not sure, but we
and
also
they were begging for assistance because they're running into hard rocks.
Right.
To carry on.
Yeah, there are a couple in the corporate area as well. I think there's the Marie Atkins shelter. That's another refuge. And also the Open Arms Drop-In Center. We recall visiting the Open Arms Drop-In Center and doing a couple of interviews. They got some funding from a Jamaican group in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And because we had visited British Columbia, Canada, and met some of those Jamaicans, when they came to Jamaica, they asked that I travel with them to Open Arms Drop-In Center to capture and to cover and to highlight the needs of the shelter, and ultimately to show that there are some individuals, institutions, organizations who are caring for those who have to be in these shelters.
Yeah, but those persons who are on the street, I really cannot really believe that they have relatives who know that's what they are doing and does nothing about it. They might just be the only surviving one out of that family.
Yeah.
But
sadly, some families have turned out family members or otherwise disowned or neglected or bypassed or run out of their own homes by family members. So
because even me up in here at the infirmary, I know family who have inmates. There are family members there, brothers and aunts. And they don't even go there, go look for them, because them say, boy, them are go tell them to take them and carry them home. So they have why going there to even look for them or bring them little snack or any little thing. And that is sad. And I may tell them, say, you don't have to carry it and tell them, say, your sister, just bring it and leave it with the security guard and say, well, this is for Jane and Jennifer.
Yes.
Mr. Malcolm, take care.
It's a sad state of affairs. Thanks for caring. All the best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's take a look at some of the other issues and matters that are trending after the break.
We twa about the brace and put the gowans fine.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more. Right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
COVID-19 has effectively changed our way of life, and to combat the pandemic, it's crucial that we focus on cutting-edge strategies to maintain proper sanitization, hygiene, and public health. Learn more about these cutting-edge strategies and get vital information that can help the individual and various sectors of society operate and thrive in the new normal by listening to the feature Maintenance Matters, airing every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. during Power Talk with Ronnie Thwaites. Maintenance Matters is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, with head offices at 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. Telephone 876-920-4721-5. Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited. Get more than clean, get hygiene. That's Maintenance Matters during Power Talk, every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday here on Power 106 FM.
And we'll take a cup of kindness yet for all land's side.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, que ahora es en español. Son las 5:28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5h moins 28. Tiensai, TDN le Wu Dien Cha Arshur Ba Fen. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Cleveland Green says, hi, Dervan. I heard that the security force is going to do house-to-house search in Rocky Point because of the plane. Are they searching for the occupants of the plane, or is it for the plane parts? He says, tongue-in-cheek. Well, there's something to be said about how that scene was managed or mismanaged. There's something to be said about that in terms of once information was made available on what had happened in that area in general terms, what would have been required in that instance. I mean, for people to have been able to board this aircraft, this disabled aircraft, and seek to further disable the aircraft and essentially tamper with evidence. That's tampering with evidence. And so there is something to be said about whether enough was done to secure that scene. It's an incident scene. Something happened there. The plane couldn't land there by itself. And based on information, which you may or may not choose to believe, information from so-called eyewitnesses, 2 individuals alighted from the downed aircraft and went where? That's the question now. If that's the case, it means that they weren't injured in any significant way, or were they? And if so, why wouldn't the kind, caring people of Rocky Point and surrounding communities help these people in distress? And did they want the help? Were they armed? And why would they so freely leave the aircraft and disappear into the community? Is it that they were familiar with the community? Is it that there are so many questions? Goodness. But there's something to be said about managing that scene or not managing that scene. Thank you for your message, Cleveland Green. Opal Marsh says, hi, Dervan. Hope all is well with you. Visiting home and showing Mother May how to use a smartphone to see you on air. She finds your program quite informative. Says she learns so much listening to you. Showed her your live feed. She loves your blue shirt. She says, my, what a handsome young man. That's very kind of you, Miss May. Good afternoon to May Williams, mother of Faye Ellington in northern Clarendon, Smithville. Thank you very much. It's good to know you're able to see to see what we're up to in the studios now, Miss May. I don't know if it's just for today or you will have that device up and running going forward. Hope you're well, and it was a pleasure talking with you again recently, and looking forward to more conversations with you, Miss May. All the best. And thank you, Opal Marsh, for obliging. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Chuck Ray says, lady with the pension issue, didn't Cliff promise you to look into it this morning? And then he has something else to say, which we won't repeat. But he apparently peeved or was peeved or otherwise unnerved by the retired educator who called us a short while ago. And Chuck perhaps might want to be a little more considerate. But so it is. You have expressed yourself. We haven't read your message in its entirety because we still need to be sensitive. So thank you for your message anyway. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon to you. Blessings to you too. Paul in Toronto, Canada, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. Good day. Dr. Dunn in Skokie, Illinois says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I attended Jaja Foundation's annual conference yesterday virtually. I was truly impressed by all the doctors, especially Jamaican doctors, in their presentation of the case studies. I was not surprised by the knowledge base of the Jamaican doctors and their explanation of how the history and findings of their patients significantly impact the management of cases. Considering that, I cannot help but wonder why Jamaica has so many poor patient outcomes, even with what would appear to be less complicated cases. Based on my understanding of the healthcare system in Jamaica, I would say that it is due in part to lack of resources to do comprehensive studies and lack of or insufficient access to care. Jaja Foundation is a great organization. We in the diaspora need to do all that we can to support that organization as well as the Jamaican health system. Blessings. Thank you very much, Dr. Dunn in Skokie, Illinois, for your message. All the very best. We join you in saluting Dr. Trevor Dixon and his team of volunteers at Jaja Foundation for their work in that regard. And not just Jaja Foundation, but there are volunteers on the ground here in Jamaica supporting the work of Jaja Foundation. Golden Brown says, big up yourself, sir. Thank you very much, Golden Brown. Lady Jean in Monique St. Anne says, good afternoon, Dervan and the team of Power 106. This is a sad day in Jamaica land we love. We have some heartless people among us. God help us. Dervan, please say to Chuck Ray there is no need for him to refer to the teacher who has every right to her complaint. Most unkind. Thank you very much, Lady Jean in Monique St. Anne, for your message. Some of us can be rather irreverent in a manner of speaking when we're ready. But it's for those of us who are the gatekeepers to make sure we remain in control. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, good afternoon once again, Mr. Malcolm. On the 22nd, I read in the newspaper where on the 22nd of January, the total number of people murdered in Jamaica was 81 since January 1. Then today, I saw where 6 homeless men were murdered in, well, you say in Kingston. You're not totally wrong. It's both Kingston and St. Andrew, so the corporate area. What is it that has gone wrong with some of the people in Jamaica? I'm sure robbery was not the motive because these men have nothing. So what could cause a person or persons to do that to their own countrymen who are already suffering? I find this kind of I find this kind of action despicable. Why won't the government of Jamaica seek international help to catch these plebeish, unconscionable people? The way I see it, these men who do these things should die at birth because they have no place in society. Well, again, be careful that we don't become the people we condemn. So people who are killing and then we are calling for killings as well. We can understand if in pursuing people of interest, whether wanted or otherwise, there might be instances where the members of the security services will have to defend themselves and their fellow Jamaicans. But yeah. Thank you for your message, H. Morgan in Birmingham. He sends us a rejoinder as well that says, the other thing is, Sir Malcolm, when you read out the message sent to you, you always read the names and the place your listeners are from. Given what Jamaicans have become, these people can be targeted by thugs. I'm sure people would like to give more information, but because you're giving their names and location, they tend to withhold vital information. What do you think? Well, it's simple. Usually we get tons of messages. We get messages all the time where people say, please do not call my name on air. And if you notice, unlike other talk shows, what tends to happen here is that apart from those who wish to be publicly identified, like Raskava, for example, and others, we generally don't ask anybody their name, like the retired educator who called a while ago. We know we heard her on Cliff Hughes Online, and I think somewhere else. as well, but we didn't ask her for her name. We don't ask our callers for their names, just in case they don't want to go public. They want to air their views publicly, but don't want to go public in terms of their names. So those who know their voices perhaps might pick them up, but outside of that, yeah. Back in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. How do you want to start 2021? Do you want to start a business, create wealth, or build your brand? Then you must attend the Jamaica Stock Exchange's Investments and Capital Market Conference, January 26 through 28. To learn how to do these and more, visit jamstockx.com to register or call JSC at 876-967-3271. Sponsored by Jeffries, NCB Capital Markets, TVJ, Pegasus Jamaica Observer, Oppenheimer, TNT Unit Trust Corporation, Cygnus, Phosphorus, CW Business, Beretta Investments, and Dollar Financial.
Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday here on Power 106 FM.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and One Spot Media has a special gift for you and your family. Enjoy a 30% discount on our 6-month subscription plan and receive the gift of Jamaica's most authentic television and radio channels. Yup, you heard us correctly. Enjoy a 30% discount when you purchase a 6-month subscription plan from One Spot Media. Simply log into onespotmedia.com. Select the 6-month subscription plan and click subscribe. Offer ends January 31, so don't hesitate. Subscribe now and let One Spot Media connect you with home.
COVID-19 has effectively changed our way of life, and to combat the pandemic, it's crucial that we focus on cutting-edge strategies to maintain proper sanitization, hygiene, and public health. Learn more about these cutting-edge strategies and get vital information that can help the individual and various sectors of society operate and thrive in the new normal by listening to the feature Maintenance Matters, airing every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. during Power Talk with Ronnie Thwaites. Maintenance Matters is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, with head offices at 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. Telephone 876-920-4721-5. Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited. Get more than clean, get hygiene. That's Maintenance Matters during Power Talk, every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Que ahora es en español, son las 5:12. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:12. 现在几点了？5点12分. 12 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Tevin, good afternoon. He says, yes, Dervan, Cliff had asked for her to call back because the call dropped. If you don't mind, you can share my number with her so I could connect her to the producer of Cliff Hughes online because they want her number. You can share my number with her. Will do. Thank you very much for your message, Tevin. Let's see who else is messaging us. Richie Innocent in New York says, blessed day, Sir Dervan. I just want you to know that I'm recovering from a brutal and severe attack from COVID-19, and my experience was cruel. But to God Almighty, I give thanks for life. I just want my fellow Jamaicans to know that it is real and they should take all the precautions to be safe. because I was a doubtful Thomas, says this message, until I got my visit. We're encouraged by the news that you are well, Richie Innocent, that you fought that fight and won up to this stage. And we thank you for using your experience to send a sober message, or perhaps even a sobering message to those listening, especially those who don't think COVID-19 is real. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. After all the murders on the weekend, it's business as usual. This is an outrage. Thank you for your message, Cuban in Georgia. Another one, Mr. Malcolm, I would like that caller who claims to be a teacher to know that we as participants in your program appreciate the bits of information we periodically get from you to help in the improvement of our use of the English language. I'm surprised that she, as a teacher, does not appreciate that and even appears to be critical. No wonder Jamaicans have so much problem with the language, and she sounds as if she could learn a lot from you. Well, we learn from each other. Thank you for your message. We learn from each other, so it is. Let's see, Errol in Spanish Town. Where did the message go? Errol in Spanish Town says, hi, Dervan. I wonder how much sicker can some of us Jamaicans get chopping up the poor and homeless. Now we are sinking to the bottom real fast. It would appear so, Errol in Spanish Town. Thank you very much for your message here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And did we read this one already? Yes. Paul in Toronto, Canada, says regarding the plane in Rocky Point, unsecure accident scene, I was thinking that all aviation accidents required detailed investigation and reporting that includes aircraft manufacturer, international aviation divisions, and country of plane registration. Well, we have heard Nari Williams Singh commenting on what happened insofar as he has been briefed based on the information collected by the police. But just generally, it just seemed off in terms of what was or was not done in the face of such a crash. Yeah. Thank you for your message, Paul in Toronto, Canada. And as we get ready to wrap, let's see if we can leave a bit of information with you. Let's see if this is it. There is some connection here we wanted to share with you. What are we missing? Something is missing here. Oh, yes. For those who are inclined, for those who read the Bible, Paul's conversion from Saul on the road to Damascus reportedly took place on this day, the 25th of January. Paul's conversion from Saul on the road to Damascus reportedly took place on this day. We don't have, after the death of Jesus, the early Christians were regarded as heretics and suffered persecution. For a while, Paul himself participated in this persecution. However, during a journey to Damascus, he had a vision in which Jesus spoke to him, and he was converted to the new faith. It was the turning point of his life. the one-time opponent of Christianity became the most vigorous and influential proponent of the new religion. Paul spent the rest of his life thinking and writing about Christianity and winning converts to the new religion. Paul's immense influence on the development of Christianity rests upon three things: his great success as a missionary, his writings, which constitute an important part of the New Testament, and his role in the development of Christian theology. Of the 27 books of the New Testament, no fewer than 14 are attributed to Paul, even though modern scholars believe that 4 or 5 of those books were actually written by other people. It is clear that Paul is the most important single author of the New Testament. Paul's conversion from Saul on the road to Damascus reportedly took place on this day, the 25th of January. And after a night of negotiation, Claudius was accepted as Roman emperor by the Senate on this day in 41. And the year 41, yes. The founding of Sao Paulo City, Brazil, happened on this day in 1554. And can we give you one more before we have to wrap? Good afternoon to members of the Alberga family listening to us right now. Moses Haim Alberga was born on this day in 1810. The name Alberga, Alberga, is encountered in northern Holland and also parts of Italy. It has not been determined exactly where the Jamaican Albergas originated, but it is quite possibly from Holland. There's a strong tradition in the Alberga family that a group of Alberga brothers arrived in Jamaica in the late 1700s. The first Alberga for whom records have been found is David Alberga, who is recorded to have purchased 2 slaves in 1795. He's probably the David who died in 1830 and is buried in the Orange Street Cemetery. Then there is Moses Alberga, who had a son, Moses Haim, who was born on this day in 1810. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 25th of January, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
And surely you'll be a pine stood, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. And there's a hand my trusty fear, and gaze a hand o' thine, and we'll take a recht get well walked for old lang syne. For old lang syne, dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup o' kindness yet for old lang syne. For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne, we'll take up oh kindness yet for all lang syne.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio